Ladies and gentlemen, do you want to see the biggest line that Bitcoin has, the longest spanning line that Bitcoin has, probably one of the most influential lines that Bitcoin has? Well, it's here right on the screen right now. And as you can see, stemming backwards from 2011, it has been influential on pretty much every single retest we have had of it. Now, there have been fake outs, small fake outs on weekly candle closes, for example, but for the most part, this line is very valid. It's beyond the point of coincidence. You can see the bounces. Look at that. We break it. We bounce off of it. We come up. We test it again, break it, bounce off of it. We go down below it. We bounce off of it from a downside, bounce off of it again from a downside, right? We finally get above it. What do? We form support for over 2 months, break below it, find resistance for over 2 months, break above it, resistance support flip on 2 occasions, go upwards. I can go on and on throughout Bitcoin's price history, and I will. The COVID drop, where do we find the low? We find the low on the weekly close on top of that line. When we go forward to 2022, what happens during the bear market? We go down to that line, we bounce off of it for 3 months, go below it, resistance support flip, finally find our actual low in the bear market bottom, okay, and going through to 2023, just last year in 2024, we reject from it, we go above it, we break up, we see a bounce, we go below it, right? We break up again, we see one fake out right there, now we're above it right now. And what you'll notice is that this line, this very influential line, no one can deny the importance of this line. Yes, we've seen fake outs, yes, we can see fake outs again, but this is a huge line here. The one thing that comes to my attention when I look at this line right now is we're literally right on top of it. It is sitting. It's hard to pinpoint exactly where it is due to the fact that it's so long, it's so long term. There've been a few fake outs, but it could be anywhere between 93,000 and 91,000. We're at 95,000, okay? We're literally right on top of this line. We are cliff dwelling on Bitcoin. We need to move upwards. And with that cliff dwelling and with that threat of a downside movement, we also have a very big opportunity for an upside movement here. The compression on these charts across the board, not just Bitcoin, but on Ethereum, on USDT, on the S&P 500, all of these charts are compressing so heavily. We have an opportunity here, and the market is on the cusp of making a decision. Before we get into it, and it won't take long today, we're just clarifying a few points which we've made before and bringing in some new stuff as well. But before we do that, check out the Bitfinex and BitGet exchanges, guys. If you want an exchange that is good, that is reliable, that doesn't get hacked, okay, that has low trading fees, these are the ones for you. BitGet, top 5 trading volume, no liquidity issues for that reason. Very reputable exchange, been around for many years in the cryptocurrency market. Bitfinex, global exchange. You can sign up from anywhere in the world. Non-KYC, never been hacked before. Very good stuff. I use them both personally. I reached out to them for partnership personally. I didn't just accept an offer. I actually reached out to them for partnership because I believe in these exchanges. And with my referral link down below, you can get a 15% trading fee discount attached to your account for life on either of these exchanges just by signing up with that referral link. So go ahead and do that if you're interested. Let's get into the content. So I've already mentioned that this very large, biggest one we've ever had on Bitcoin, linear line on the logarithmic chart is sitting around 93. It's hard to say exactly, as I said, but 93,000 to 91,000. That's the support zone. We're on the edge of the cliff here. We need to hold it. Again, we've seen fake outs in the past, so it's not necessarily like the end of everything if we break below it. We need to look at other things as well, namely things like the Gaussian channel on the weekly chart would be what I'm looking at for full confirmation. That's something that doesn't fake out, right? That's something that's very, very reliable. When we enter the Gaussian channel, we continue through it, okay? When we enter it from the upside, we continue through it to the downside. We enter it from a downside, we continue through it to the upside. That's 100% accuracy ever since the first halving on Bitcoin. If we enter that Gaussian channel, which is currently sitting at around 70,000, 71,000, it's pretty much over for Bitcoin. But you know, that's pretty far away. If we're looking at something more immediate term, more short term, and you know, very influential as well, but with that slight potential for a fake out, we're looking at this line right here. It's around 93,000 to 91,000. Now, 91,000 to 93,000 isn't just a random zone that's only shown to be important by this line. It's just a very influential zone in general. Well, if you look at this range horizontally, where is the horizontal basis of this range stemming from? It's stemming from 91,000, guys, where I've drawn that pink level there. That is the horizontal basis of this range. On top of that, if we look back, the yellow line on the screen here, it stems from the 2021 all-time highs, and it cuts through the pretty much the horizontal basis of this range at 91,000. It forms the macro support zone here at around 91,000. So we've got the horizontal basis of the range at 91,000. We've got a line stemming backwards from the highs of the last bull market at 91,000, and we've got the biggest line in Bitcoin's existence at 91,000 pretty much. Guys, we're cliff dwelling here. There's no way to say it. We don't want to break down below this level. Now, here's the interesting part. If you look at this chart, and specifically if you look at how this cycle has played out so far, this cycle has been categorized and had a characteristic of very, very long, drawn-out consolidations. We've seen, ever since the first major move back in 2022, just extensive 8 months long of consolidation there, or 6 months, I should say, another 8 months over here, okay, another 3 months over here, and right now we're seeing a 3-month, more than 3-month consolidation. It's been a pretty weird cycle in the sense that it's just been these big kind of impulsive moves driven by major news events like the ETFs and like Trump winning the presidency. Big explosive move there when ETFs were being anticipated. When ETFs came out, big explosive move. Trump winning, big explosive move. But other than those major news events, it's just been sideways and boring. So it's been a bit of a boring cycle in a lot of ways, and very sporadic. And so look, we look at the structure on Bitcoin right now and we see a 3-month consolidation and we recognize, well, it's been 3 months. That's a long time historically, but actually in this cycle, that's actually not a long time at all. The last consolidation we saw was 8 months. So there's no real telling how long it will take for Bitcoin to make a move here, for it to break above the macro range or break below the macro range. And obviously for something to happen, we need to be seeing a macro breakout. So with this chart alone, with the line steering backwards from 2021 and the line steering backwards from 2017, we don't really have much of a time frame. We can't really build much of a calendar. But the good news is, okay, we do have something. We have a very strong idea of where the support is at 91,000, and now within the range, we're seeing some very interesting things start to occur. We see Bitcoin's 50 simple moving average, which has been a very influential indicator on Bitcoin, which literally formed Bitcoin's final bottom within the prior macro range before nearly doubling in price, compressing Bitcoin's price against its rising macro support levels, driven by things like this 15-year support line on Bitcoin, okay? This is compression here. This is textbook compression. And compression comes to an end with an explosion. Another thing supporting that compression is the Gaussian channel on the daily chart. The center line of that Gaussian channel, you can see literally right here, acting as resistance. Again, guys, compression comes to an end with explosions. And given the proximity to our macro support, if we see an explosion to the downside, we're stuffed here. We're in a very dangerous position. We're in a position which we could be forming something like a double top formation. We're in a position which we could be breaking down, and that would be very, very rough. And then obviously the bull market as a whole comes into question. But if we explode upwards, what do? We come right back up. We invalidate the bearish idea that this could be a double top formation, and we attack the macro resistance once again, potentially continuing the cycle as expected. This is a big moment, and it's not just Bitcoin saying it. The S&P 500, a literal entirely different market, right? The traditional markets are saying the same thing. Just like Bitcoin, we're having this bull market support band continually raise the lows, raise the floor of the S&P 500. The last time we tested this bull market support band properly back here in September, for example, Bitcoin, just giving you an idea of how influential it is. In September, Bitcoin literally went from here all the way up to here. That's how influential the S&P 500 and the bull market support band actually is. That bull market support band is compressing the S&P 500 against what we're seeing as equal resistance right here. And as you can see, that compression has to lead to an explosion. We have equal highs, equal resistance. That's the rejection zone. Do we explode to the upside, or do we come down again and put that bull market support band at threat for a breakdown, in which case we could do something very, very bad. It's not just Bitcoin compressing. It's the traditional markets. It's not just Bitcoin. Once again, we can look at USDT. We can look at the USDT dominance chart. We can see this chart is reverse correlated to Bitcoin. It's got a major diagonal macro resistance zone with these two red lines. What are we doing to those two red lines right now? We're testing them for a potential resistance support flip or a break to the upside. That's compression. That's a decision point. When we see that decision, we're going to be seeing an explosion of decision in the markets. DXY, exactly the same story. Again, reverse correlated to Bitcoin. Right now, in an aggressive upwards trend right here, as of recently coming down and potentially reversing that upwards trend, seeing a decision point. Do we drop below the bull market support band, or do we come up above it, flip this support again and continue to the upside? Ethereum, same story. Hovering below macro resistance right now here in green. I should make it red just to color code it a bit better. That's macro resistance right here in red. We need to be breaking above it. We can see a little cup formation here. We're attempting to break upwards. The Bollinger Bands are compressing. There's compression. Do we go upwards? Do we go downwards, right? Same thing. Total 3 cryptocurrency market cap chart. Major level of support on the weekly chart RSI. We've come down. We've tested it on the recent wick. You can't see it there on the RSI, but on the catalyst the catastrophic, I should say, drop we saw 2 weeks ago. We tested that level. We bounced off of it, right? Now, is that bounce a liquidity grab, right? Do we go upwards from there or do we just crash below it? Is it a sign of bad things to come? What I'm trying to illustrate to you in a lot of words, which is kind of unnecessary, you get the point by now, is it's not just Bitcoin, guys. The entire market is literally on the edge of a cliff. And it has a moment here, it has an opportunity to bounce like hell, right? Or crash to the ground. Now, all I can say is this. Short-term price action, in my view, I've looked at the short-term charts extensively. I've contemplated showing in this video. They mean nothing. They mean nothing. What matters here, because it's just going to lead you to get wrecked. It's just going to lead you to make the wrong decision, right? It's just going to lead you to focus on things that aren't necessary. What you need to care about is macro. These are macro decisions we're talking about. These are decisions in which we're going to be breaking below major macro support levels, which could put the bull market at jeopardy, or breaking upwards and testing highs, which could continue the bull market. The short-term price action means literally nilch. What matters is, does this level hold in yellow? What matters is, does this major 15-year support line hold in yellow here? Right? What matters is, do we break that 50 SMA? Do we break that Gaussian channel center line? These are the things that actually matter. Now, I'm inclined to believe that we will. I'm inclined to be bullish here because we are in a macro upwards trend. We are in a 4-year cycle. And the way the 4-year cycle traditionally works is we don't usually see catastrophic corrections after 3 months of consolidation. That's a very, very bad sign. That would be a very, very bad sign. We usually see a correction, consolidation, and then continuation to the upside. That's how macro uptrends work. Now, would it be the end? For sure, if we broke down? No, as I said before, something like the weekly chart Gaussian channel would be something we're looking at. That's at around 70,000 at this point in time. But it would be a very, very big step. In fact, it would be a lunge in the wrong direction, especially for the altcoin market, which is already teetering on the edge of getting wiped out. Big decisions over the next, who knows, it's hard to say. But let's say certainly by the end of the month, or at least, very likely by the end of the month. Again, there's no real time frame here. We just know it's happening. Something's coming though, that's for sure. Apologies, but I can't be more precise than that, guys. That's what the charts are allowing me to say right now. All you need to know is something big is coming and you need to prepare. You need to wake up from your hibernation. If you're bored of the market right now, it's time to pay attention, right? Or at least set those alerts so that when those alerts go off, you can pay attention because something big is coming. Guys, again, check out those exchanges here, Bit2Nix and BitGet. Bit2Nix being a global non-KYC exchange that you can sign up to from literally anywhere in the world that has never been hacked before. Very, very low in trading fees, made even lower by my 15% trading fee discount, which you can acquire just by signing up with my referral link. The same deal with BitGet. You get a 15% trading fee discount with my referral link. The only difference is it's not available in the USA, but it's very, very good because it's actually top 5 in trading volume consistently and historically speaking, meaning there's very few liquidity issues. So you're not going to run into any issues with the exchange itself in terms of buying, in terms of getting bad liquidity and stuff like that. That's all very good for traders and also for big buying. But both exchanges are great. Links are down below if you're interested. And the last thing I'll mention here is my VIP group on Telegram. If you want to trade altcoins on Telegram with me, VIP group right here on the screen, you can see it. I trade altcoins 4 times a week. I post them to VIP. All the VIP members there, about 160 of them, get those trading plans. They also get access to a group chat with, pretty much everyone in there, 24/7, accessible. When the market's lively, that group chat's lively, and you can share charts, share analysis. It's pretty useful at times. Perhaps I'm underselling it a bit. Check out those trading results, 78% win rate over the course of 2 years. You're not going to get much better than that. And you're not going to get many people who actually show the trading results because they're scared to show them. I'm not. I'm very proud of them. Guys, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Links are down below. Have a good one.